Maker Talk. Maker Media folds today on Mikey's Lab. Welcome back to the lab. This kind of impromptu video. Wasn't planning on making it, but something's happened and we need to talk about it. I was in the lab working on using an Arduino as an I2C slave for an upcoming project where I will be turning this device into a slave component inside of a bigger device. But what I'm trying to work out right now is how to do this electronically, which is control the brightness of the LED via software instead of 10K trimmer pots. That video will be coming soon. But anyway, so what is Maker Media? Some of you might not know. You may be familiar or have heard the term Make Magazine before, or Maker Fairs. Make Media produced both of these. The magazine failing doesn't really surprise me. Magazines are kind of a dead format. As you can see, I do like my magazines. I've got Wired and Popular Science everywhere right now. Popular Mechanics is coming soon too, and I was actually considering getting a subscription to Make Magazine. Kind of glad I didn't go with that now, because they're expensive and I don't think they're going to be producing issues now. The bigger concern to the maker community, I feel, Maker Media was responsible for Maker Faire. The big ones anyway. A lot of the smaller ones were handled by offshoots and other small companies and often called themselves something slightly different to avoid, copyright issues and trademark issues. So the big question that I have is what's going to happen with Maker Faire. And in all honesty, I am 99% sure that somebody else is going to pick up the slack. There's going to be a corporate sponsor. Somebody is going to put on Maker Faire. There's too much money involved for them not to do it. Will it be the same? Possibly not. Will it be better? I don't know. Will it be worse? I don't know. The magazine itself, it's sad to see it go. For many years, it was one of the big voices of maker culture, especially when the internet was still in I won't say its infancy, but we didn't have the groups that we have now back then. Getting an issue every 2 months with new project ideas, new schematics, new content thrown at you was something that a lot of people looked forward to. As I said, I believe it's kind of gone the way of the dodo bird with sites kind of like Instructables now, and YouTube, obviously, I'm on YouTube, where you can get the project ideas, you can get the guidance, and you can get the help easier than you could through the magazine, because at best you would just write the editor and hope for a response. A lot of this downfall started when Maker Media separated from their original parent, and one dude took over as the CEO. Now, some people are blaming him for the downfall of the company. I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. I believe there is a conglomeration of things for the same reason that a lot of brick and mortars are starting to disappear. The world is changing. We have a lot more resources online. We have a lot more ability to talk to each other. So I think that the idea of offline or physical media, even though you will still catch me thumbing through one of these on a lot of occasions. Yes, I really do read these. These aren't props. I don't necessarily feel like they're required in this world anymore. And the cost to publish them is not insignificant. So you're looking at, for a Canadian subscription to Meg Magazine, almost $60 a year, and that was only six issues. I don't pay that much for Popular Science. I don't pay that much for Wired. Now, it is worth noting that the subscriptions that I have to Popular Science and Wired come from a third party who reprints the original source material with permission of the original author. They're in Canada, so the delivery fee is significantly lower. But you did get the digital version as well, so okay, but really, what am I getting that I can't get on the internet? So a lot of people out there are saying this is a big blow to maker culture. And I'm going to take the unpopular opinion and say, no, it's not. Is it bad to see an icon of the culture fall by the wayside? Sure. It always is. Right? Is this going to be the end of maker culture? No, not even a little bit. We've been growing, the movement's been getting stronger, more and more people are producing things. Some people have said that the maker culture started out of a necessity because of recessions and because lack of money and wanting to repair things that you had or build something that you couldn't necessarily afford to buy when jobs were scarce and the world was a much scarier place. It was. I lived through it. I get it. But I don't think we're dependent on that. I really do think that there is an innate drive for people to build things, regardless. Not all people, don't get me wrong. Some people are perfectly content to just go out and spend their money and get whatever they want to do however it does whatever they do, right? Other people want the custom experience, and I think that's where makers come in. Good coffee, holy crap. Now, Adam Savage recently tweeted about this too, and it's my understanding, and maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, comments down below, that he pretty much echoes the same sentiment I do, that it's horrible to watch this icon go away, but that the maker movement, if you want to, I don't know, maker culture, isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's getting stronger. Reason I say this is more and more products are geared towards us. More and more industries are being set up because of us. I firmly believe that a lot of the breakthroughs and a lot of the new technologies that are going to be forefront in the next 20 or 30 years are going to come from people like us. They're going to be some guy who's really passionate about something, tinkering around in his garage, going to find something that nobody else has thought of before and spin it into a product that changes all of our lives. Now, will that product be bought by a huge corporation and immediately sold? Sure, probably. To be honest, and if it did happen, I really can't blame him. Well, I prefer he releases open source, obviously, but I understand economics. People need money. So, are we witnessing the beginning of the end of the maker movement? No. Is the economy much better than it was when we started this whole crazy thing in the early 2000s? Sure. It's a lot better than it was back then. And we haven't slowed down. If anything, with 3D printing coming on board, with JLPCB making it really easy to get printed circuit boards really cheaply. No, they're not a sponsor. I've never worked with them. They haven't given me a dime. I just like them. I think it's becoming easier and easier to be a maker. And Make Magazine started that. So I am sad to see them go. It is an insolvency, so this does not necessarily mean the end, but they did lay off all their staff, which is not a good sign. They do have the opportunity to restructure. That's what insolvency means in the US, so that they can restructure and become profitable again. Do I think that that's the way they're going to go? No. I think that it's time for the magazine side at least to end. and for somebody to step up and take over the actual maker fairs. There is the flip side too, where the bigger and bigger the maker fairs get, the more commercialized they're getting, and the further away from the original intent I believe they are going. It's turning very much into like a Comic-Con, where when it started out it was all about the passion, it was all about the community. Now it's all about the sales. Well, let's be absolutely honest. It's all about draining as much money from nerds as possible. I feel some of the bigger maker fairs are starting to get that way. I have attended the Toronto Maker Festival every 2 years or so for the last little while, just to be part of that culture, and I never really felt like there was a high pressure sale involved in that one. But this is one of the offshoot ones that again has nothing to do with the original Make Media, aside from using their idea and bringing it to the Toronto area. Obviously there are no large maker fairs near me. I would have to travel to our cousins to the south, I don't know. That big landmass down there with the orange guy. Down there. I'd have to go down there to get to a maker fair. But at the end of the day, I think this is just another stepping stone that our community and that our group of individuals, whatever you want to call us, our movement, I've never really liked that term, has to go through in order to just stabilize and become our own again. I think Make Media could have made different decisions and could have had a very different outcome. But that's not where we are. And that's not how this played out. So, sad to see it go. Don't think it's going to be a huge impact on the maker community. But again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for joining me in the lab, and we will speak again soon.